Hello, hello, my friends. A dedicated review for you today. We are going to be talking about HOMEWORX Garden Bouquet. Now, I feel a little bit late to the party. I think this was actually part of the Garden Party collection that was released maybe about 2 months ago now. So I feel a little bit late in doing this review. However, this product is still available on the Slatkin & Co. website. And I thought, you know what, while I have it in my collection, I should share my thoughts with you. So this is their standard 4-wick, 18-ounce vessel with the beautiful wraparound label. I have to say, you guys, this label, I am loving the photographic wraparound label, the beautiful pink flowers here. It just screams springtime. I think they really did a good job on the packaging here. For the record, I think HOMEWORX does do packaging quite well. I'm not really a fan of their like white band wraparound label, like those half labels, but when they do these full picture photographic labels, I think they do them really, really well. They're probably some of my favorites, I would say, of the candle brands that I frequently purchase from, just because look at the, like how it illuminates the entire vessel. The ambiance it creates is just absolutely stunning. So let's go ahead and talk about the fragrance notes here. Now, HOMEWORX is doing something a little bit different where they do list the fragrance notes on the bottom of the candle as well as the pour date. In fact, I forgot to look up when my pour date is of this candle. I will make sure to have that in the description box down below for you guys. But they are doing something different where not only do they list a couple of the fragrance notes on the bottom of the vessel, but if you go onto the Slatkin & Co. website, they actually are starting to list top, middle, and bottom notes of a fragrance. So I'm going to go ahead and read those off for you because there is a fragrance note that is listed in the website description that is not listed on the bottom of the candle, and I feel like it's probably one of the most important notes that is missing. So listed on the website, top notes are red berries, leafy, plumeria. Mid notes of honeysuckle, jasmine, gardenia, and rose. Base notes of musk and sugared woods. All right, so what is my nose smelling? My nose definitely picks up on the Plumeria note. That is the one that I smell the most, I would say, out of all of the notes that are listed. I said this on Cold Sniff. I think when I did the HOMEWORX haul video earlier in the month, I would say like that was in early April. When I did this, I hauled this during National Fragrance Week. And in that haul, I told you guys on Cold Sniff that this candle was giving me vintage Bath & Body Works Plumeria vibes. But I will say that it's kind of like a more elevated take. I think a lot of people have the perception that Bath & Body Works fragrances sometimes are a little more juvenile or they're just not as sophisticated. I kind of have one foot in both camps on that. There are some fragrances with them that I feel like are just kind of like overly synthetic and just kind of meh. But then there are some other fragrances that I do think that they do pretty well and they take it up a notch. I would say that this candle to me is like an elevated take on the classic Bath & Body Works Plumeria because that is the note that I smell the most. This is a sweet floral. I do pick up maybe a hint of jasmine in there, not a ton of gardenia, a little bit. Rose doesn't really stand out to me, nor does honeysuckle. Honeysuckle is like a pretty powerhouse type of fragrance for me. Musk, I think that's something that's used mainly for like a perfumey element to it, which I do think that, that's necessary for any kind of, perfume type of fragrance. Red berries, I can't really say that I pick those up. Like if it wasn't listed there, I probably wouldn't say, oh, I smell red berries. However, I do know that Harry tends to blend a fruit with a lot of his florals just to tone down the quote unquote floralness or the headiness of a lot of his floral fragrances. So that's why I think those are listed there. A little bit of green leafiness, but like I said, you guys, if you happen to love Bath & Body Works Plumeria, then that's what you're getting in this fragrance. I actually really, really like it. And I'm not typically somebody who would say that I love florals. My scent profile, I think, is coming around to liking them, particularly more in the springtime. But this is a lovely late spring, early summer floral fragrance. Plumeria all the way. And it's funny that it's listed on the website, but it's not listed on the bottom of the candle, because that is definitely what my nose smells. Let's go ahead and talk about the performance of this candle. So I'm going to go ahead and lift up the camera here so you can see the wicks. So you can see a little bit of wick residue that has dropped into the wax pool here. This candle has been lit for almost 4 hours now, so I am going to extinguish it. You can see though that the wicks, they're not leaning, they're not falling over. I'm not having any issues with it. The only thing that I will say is that these are those skinnier wicks that HOMEWORX has been using on their newer pours. And what I noticed with that is that they do take a lot longer to create a full wax pool. So I've been beating the drum on this. So if you've caught any of my recent videos, you know that I say this about HOMEWORX candles. On first burn, I am allocating usually at least 4 to 5 hours of burn time if I'm not placing it in a hurricane in order to let it achieve a full wax pool. Today was the first day that I actually did not burn this candle in a hurricane. I do prefer to burn my candles in a hurricane, just because I do think that they increase the strength and throw. And like I said, with these newer wicks on the HOMEWORX candles, they struggle to pull out in a faster burn time. So like if you don't have a whole lot of time to allocate to your burn, definitely plan to put it in a hurricane to get that full wax pool. But this was the first day that I didn't burn it in a hurricane, and it took about 3 hours for it to get a complete wax pool. Now, the caveat that I'm going to throw in here is that I'm going to insert the B-roll here of what my living room looks like. I was burning this candle in front of the windows in my living room, and I did have my windows open this morning because here in Arizona, we are entering the time of year where my windows are probably going to be closed until October. So when it's a nice cool morning, I'm still trying to get some fresh air in the mornings. So I did have my windows open this morning, and this candle was on that little table in front of the window. So I do think that that was impacting the ability for the candle to pull out completely, probably because there was a little bit of a draft right overhead. So who knows if that really affected it or not. But regardless, you guys, my advice is if you have a hurricane that fits these HOMEWORX candles, burn them in there to make sure you get that full wax pool. If you don't have a hurricane, make sure that you're allocating at least a 4-hour burn time on these to achieve that full wax pool. Strength and throw on this one, I would say this morning when it was not burning in a hurricane, it was a good solid 7 to 7.5. It definitely filled up my living room, and I could smell it really well in the living room too. This Plumeria is a very strong type of floral anyways. It wasn't headache inducing, but I could definitely smell it all throughout the living room. I went and took my kids to school. My husband was still home. So I took my kids to school, walked back in the living room, and I could definitely smell it. But it didn't really quite throw into my kitchen, and definitely not into the bedrooms. For reference, my home is approximately 1,800 square feet. It's a single story. I have high ceilings, about 20-foot high ceilings in the living room, open concept to the living room with closed concept bedrooms with a little bit lower ceilings in there. I do typically like to move the candle around to kind of gauge how well it performs in different rooms of my house. Like I said, I also live in Arizona. So right now we have daytime temperatures outside in the mid 80s, I would say. So interior temperature right now has been, I would say 73, 74 degrees, somewhere around there. All of those things I like to give you because I do feel like those are things that impact strength and throw. Even letting you guys know, this is a really dry climate. We don't have a lot of humidity, and I do think that humidity can even impact the strength and throw of candles. But that being said, it's about a 7 without a hurricane on it. However, when I put a hurricane on this candle, it's a solid 9. It definitely throws all the way into my kitchen. It wants to wrap around into the bedroom. So it's a pretty strong performer. And like I said, you guys, I'm not having issues with the wicks. Now, I do extinguish my candles using a wick dipper, which by nature of extinguishing that way, it does allow me to stand the wicks back up. So I would highly recommend investing in a wick dipper. If you are somebody who's really getting into home fragrance, there are a couple of other things that I do recommend you kind of make a quote unquote investment in. A wick dipper for sure. I do not trim the wicks on my candles. I have not touched the wicks at all in terms of trimming these wicks. They've kind of been self-trimming in my opinion. So I don't really do a wick trimmer, but I would recommend a Hurricane. I know that the ones that I have purchased, I've purchased at TJ Maxx, Marshalls for under $15 for each Hurricane. So not too terribly pricey, but overall, you guys, I'm going to give this candle 2 thumbs up. It's performing really well for me. It's one that I definitely see myself enjoying this month. I have been pairing it with Kringle Country Candles Cake Pops in the other room. I think that they pair really nicely with one another. I tried pairing it with Gardenia because there is a Gardenia note listed in here, but I didn't really like that fragrance combination, so I would kind of caution you on that one. But I've really liked this fragrance. Like I said, it's got 2 thumbs up from me. I am a HOMEWORX brand ambassador. This candle I did purchase with my own money. This candle was not sent to me in PR. However, I do have a discount code with HOMEWORX. It is Katie's Joyful Life. It will save you 15% on your orders over $40. So if you would like to use my code, that is an affiliate code. I do make a small commission on your purchase if you choose to use it. It is there for the taking if you would like it. But otherwise, you guys, let me know in the comment box down below if this is a candle that you have. Is it one that you enjoy? Do you think I'm correct in making the association between this and Bath & Body Works Plumeria? I would be really curious to know. Please don't forget to hit thumbs up if you found this video helpful. If you are new to my channel, hi, I'm Katie. I like to talk all things candles here on my channel. I do a lot of dedicated reviews like this. I have candle chat series, empties, a candle collection. I've got all things candles here. So if you like candle content, please consider subscribing to my channel before you get on out of here. I do want to say thank you so very much for spending your time here with me today. And until my next one, I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day. Bye.